I'm Maruno, and the focus of today's video is going to be on time. So, I think that the way that the idea of time interacts with human consciousness is that it kind of like dupes us or fools us into believing that the universe is kind of moving along a track, right? Like it has a destination or something, like it's going, and the way things happen are in order in some kind of way. Like this is where ideas of determinism come from. So determinism is the idea that the present moment comes from the past. Like whatever is happening now, it all was because of what was happening before it. So it's things are just leading up to whatever's happening right now. But if you really feel your experience and sit there with it, you'll kind of realize that this isn't the case. So some examples of how determinism isn't really real, right? That's how things that happen before don't necessarily mean whatever happens next is because of that. An example would be like music, for example. So if you're listening to a song that you've never heard before, let's say the song is like 3 minutes, right? And you're up to the 1 minute 50-second mark. Now, at this point in the song, you likely have an idea of the melody, right? So you've been listening to the song already for like 1 minute and 50 seconds, so you kind of have an idea of what the tune is like. So based off of that information, you think that you can predict what's gonna happen next in the song. Now, while that might be true for a song, life is kind of like that. Life is like a song that is constantly playing that you've never heard before. So although your life, you've lived X amount of years, up to this point, your life has kind of felt like it's been going along a certain groove. It's been kind of doing a certain thing. You think that you actually, you think that what all the events that have been happening up to this point have like quote unquote made you what you are, and that you also have the ability to predict the future of the melody. Oh, my life has been like this. It's probably going to be like, it's probably going to be like however this is, unless I kind of do something to change it, right? But the truth about time is that time is not real. So, let's say you're like smoking a blunt, right? This confusion about time is just like you're smoking a blunt, and you actually think that where the blunt is ashing at, like you think that the ashes are pushing the flame forward. Like you think that the ashes are kind of like giving that flame some kind of like power or something, like as if the flame isn't burning by itself. So even as you're witnessing, the ashes fall away. So the ashes falling away is like your past not being real. Your past is essentially dead. So what you're doing, but the way that the idea about time is confusing you is that you actually think that these ashes are pushing the flame forward on the blunt, and it's like kind of giving it momentum, right? You think, okay, the ashes are pushing the flame forward, and eventually it's just gonna push it, like as if it's a track, right? The way that I learned this, when it really sank into me about the present being kind of like all there is if you think about a boat, right? So a boat is moving along some water, and obviously when boats are moving along water, there's kind of like a ripple behind that follows the boat, right? And it's the same thing as the blunt analogy, right? Our confusion is like as if the ripples are pushing the boat forward, when obviously the boat has its own power, right? The boat is moving itself. So when you understand this, it's probably a little bit underwhelming that everything that is happening is literally just coming out of nowhere. This thing, the event of life, is spontaneous. It is a single event. There is not multiple events. There is not multiple time frames. There is not, the past is an idea. It is not real, So if you think about how you grew up, do you believe that the reason you are an adult right now is because you were a child? if you're quickly talking about this in like a conversation with someone, you think you can kind of feel that, oh, yeah, obviously, I was a kid and being a kid made me an adult. But the real situation is more like the entire experience, you were feeling yourself as you are, and you always are what you are as you are. So when you were a kid, that was when you were a kid. That has nothing to do with who you're going to become. That's like saying that you exactly can predict what you're going to be like as a senior citizen. I have no idea what I'm going to look like when I'm a senior citizen. I have no say in that either. Like, I'm not going to, if I even live to be a senior citizen. That's another mistake. We think we have time as if it's something real that we can have. So I don't know how long I'm going to live. And I don't know if I live to be a super old age. I don't know what I'm going to look like. I don't know how I'm going to act. I don't know anything about, suppose I have like some kind of like horrible accident or something where I lose my consciousness, where I lose my ability, like maybe I get dementia or something. Like, I just have no say in that. Right now I don't have dementia, but it's gonna be, if I do get dementia when I'm old, it's gonna be right now that I have dementia, So so it's equally as true that the past is not real as the future is not real. So we like to project into the future. This is where anxiety and where worry comes from, is that we think that we always make stuff up about what's gonna happen, when the truth is it doesn't really. What is that gonna do for the truth? You're making up stories about what could go wrong or what could go right. It doesn't really matter, but at the end of the day, you're setting yourself up to expect something that you have no idea what it's gonna be like. All you actually have is this moment. So if you focus on this moment, your past and your future will always be exactly what you want them to be. So if you're focused on what you are right now, and you always are in submission to the truth about what feels like right to you, what do you feel like doing? If you're always in submission to that, what's going to happen is, without you having to try or without you ever having to think about it, your past and your future will just magically appear as if everything kind of worked out, right? And the thing about the truth is that the truth isn't what you want it to be. The truth isn't just like kind of like bending. It isn't like bending to your will. You have to wrap your mind around it. The truth is what it is, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to accept it and live your life according to its principles. So the truth has no interest in being nice. The truth has no interest in helping you out of your confusion. Okay, the truth just is what it is. So the sooner we can come to grips with the fact that time is not real, the sooner we can start living what we want to live right now, because that's all. It's never gonna happen in some other time. If you put off the things that you want to do for a future, it's never gonna come. If tomorrow is always the time when you want to do something, it's never gonna happen, And if you keep your consciousness locked into the past about something that happened before, and you're focused on that, you are losing your truth right now to that false idea that is almost like a dream. You're focused on a dream versus reality. So time is not a real thing. Time is just kind of like this useless idea that humans have, just like money. It's a useless thing. I mean, it's a useful thing. It's just convenient to say to if you want to meet up with someone, hey, meet me at this place at 5:30. That's convenient, but it's not real. Just like how money is, or anything else, like units of measurement are. Inches are not real. Feet are not real. They are just convenient uses of measurement, so that everyone can kind of just be like on the same page of like what we're doing. But you want to be able to use these things without being lost in these things, without genuinely having some kind of confusion that time is real, as if you are running out of time. Your time is already up. There is no time. It's not real. You don't have any more. You don't have any time to use or to lose. So that's about all I wanted to say on this topic. Basically, Focus on your now, because your now is all you have. It's all that you ever had, and it's all that you will ever be. So that's it. Peace.